I have the best fishing partner ever, Mr. Bog. He's all bundled up. You want your hood up, dude? There you go. You're good to go. All I can say is burr. It's freezing, dude. This morning, I think it was like 37 degrees. So we are well into, I would say winter, but there's still a little bit of fall transition going on. And what I'm gonna do today with you, well, actually, let me tell you something first. So if you guys watch like Lojo and some of the other big names on YouTube, we're hashtag not big time. But if you watch them, you've heard kind of YouTube's been throttling down on views, you know, just basically hurting creators, hurting guys that are making videos, and gals for that matter. But it's really been annoying. They're not shooting the videos out, especially when it's relating to fishing and the outdoors. And I just want to send a shout out. Monster Bass, whether you're into subscription boxes or not, has got behind this channel right here. They make some awesome sweatshirts. You see my sweatshirt I got on? But they make some cool clothes. They got the subscription box, but they're getting behind the channel. And I want to send them a little bit of love because it is really cool. And right now in the environment we're in, we need support, those of us fishing on YouTube. So definitely hit a like in this video, hit subscribe, and go hit the link to Monster Bass down in the description box. They're good people, really good people. With that being said, I'm going to show you kind of how I locate some of these winter kind of deeper water fish that are sort of hiding from the changes in temps, as well as the process that I use with baits. I'm going to show you exactly what baits that I use to catch fish a little bit deeper, but they're bigs, and any species, spotted bass, largemouth, and smallmouth. You'll see them all. But I'll show you real quick what I have all rigged up because it's going to be sort of an indicator for the day. We got a Damiki rig. See, pretty in pink. You can never go wrong with pink. Got pink right here too. Little drop shot rig. Got a little Ned rig. Got a buzz bait hiding beyond there just in case we go shallow. And then got a few other lures. Got a swim bait on this guy right here. That's my Halo TI 7-foot, a little finesse rod. Got a little tailspin, Cumberland Pro. Got a little deeper running jerk bait. That's that new Berkeley. And then I do have a square bill too, just in case we do some shallow stuff, just to bounce around and keep these fish honest. But we're gonna kind of use a combination of those lures as we locate fish, using both our Lowrance electronics as well as looking at them on the active target. That's the better one. On the Damiki rig, just coasting it. Like, it's such a cool presentation. It's so subtle. This fish feels pretty big. Oh God, yeah. But I just got a little, it's just like a fluke style trailer on there. And it's 8-pound test, a 3/8 ounce Damiki rig. And these fish kind of won't respond when I drag to them like directly. I can kind of pop the bait off the bottom and catch them, but it's almost like a swim bait presentation. It's a freaking big, oh yeah. Come here, big. Gotcha. Dude, that's like a 4-pounder. See that little thing? It'll pop them right in the mouth, dude. About them apples. That is freaking cool. Burr, is it cold? And that's why they want the small stuff. But let's get this fish released, dude. Check this thing out. He's so, look at those, dude. Chunksta, wonksta, baby. All right, let's let him go. Go back down. Down you go. Down, down, down. I love catching them on these finesse tactics in like winter and fall. That transition, it's perfect for it because they're eating these like tinier baits. And dude, this thing is a pretty cool rig. It's a Damiki rig, and you've seen it in some of my Florida videos. Basically, you put a fluke on the back of there. It's a little Damiki jig head, and it's super finesse. That one got pulled down, but you put that little chunk trailer on there, and it mimics a lot of the small bait. Bog likes it, right? Yes, and it's fun because you catch them on really light line. You can see what happens when you catch a fish. All of them come kind of look to see what's going on. Most of those are probably spotted bass because they seem to be a little more curious, but it does tell you sometimes you need to sort of like let them resettle, and that's where the active target comes in. You can kind of see the fish move back out, and it's crazy how many fish will come to your bait or come to the fish that gets caught, and then after you give them 5 minutes, they sort of push back out and resettle into their place. God, they just eat that thing. Oh, another largemouth. Hallelujah. We're gonna boat hook this guy. Probably not the best idea, but God, what a chunk of wonk skin. Oh, buck. Chill. He's probably freaking out anyways, dude. Dude, hooked perfectly. That's like 2 3/4. Nice fish. Little swim bait. Scottsboro swim bait. Giant largemouth. Yeah. Come here. Come here. Wow, how about them apples? That is a chunk of Wonkasaurus, dude. Chunk of Wonkasaurus. What a beautiful fish, dude. What a beautiful fish. She couldn't resist, dude. Bog's freaking out. I'm freaking out. Let's get this thing back. Oh, it's too cold for you to be doing that. Come here. Come here. Just another look how fat that thing is, dude. That's what we're looking for. Fall fishing, right? Actually, this is more like winter fishing. And back she goes. It's tough beating that little swim bait and just doing these little finesse techniques right now, man. Like, these fish are deep. They're either reactive or you gotta fish super slow for them. It's a straight up like fall to winter transition kind of deal, and I love this offshore stuff. Seeing them on the graph, picking them apart, analyzing what you gotta do to catch them, and then putting all the pieces together. And so what am I looking for when I'm actually like out searching for these fish kind of on deeper structure? The biggest thing is really points and ditches. And ditches and points kind of go along with each other, and we're on one right now. You can see right down here, you have the contours. That's on my sea map. You can see the contours kind of pushing up. We already scanned this, and there's some fish right there on the point, but you can see there's a ditch that cuts in right next to it, kind of where that creek kind of flows in, and there's actually another point right here. But fish seem to use these points going back into creeks as kind of stop points, and they hang out there pretty much all winter, and you can locate them sort of like from the mouth of the creek to all the way back. It all depends on how cold it gets. These fish sort of vary between maybe like a third into the creek to the main lake, depending on water temperatures, depending on how deep you are on winter. And then they do kind of a funky thing, you know, as spring comes, they kind of push their way on back, or they'll push their way onto the bank from those locations. So what's really cool with this time of year is if you start finding where they're located and where they're holding up, you can basically make a trail to exactly where they're going to end up in spring. As they move up to spawn, you can kind of pick your breaks that they're going to use moving in between those points and those structures you find them on right now. On the old Nedster. Look out, Bo. Might be a better one, I can't tell. Yep. Big old head, dude. That right there is what you call an old fish. Got out the Ned because they seem to be on the bottom. That is an old fish. We were just gonna let him go. Poor guy. Get back down there and eat something, dude. I kind of take a sort of 3-step approach to these fish, and it's somewhat like what you do to these deeper fish during the summer. Usually I'll grab like a swim bait, maybe a tail spin, something like that. But the trick with those baits is I can move them up and down in the water column, put them high, put them low. I can also fish them fast and slow, but they're more of a reactive deal. You know, I can cover some water, get a feel for where the fish are laid out and where in the water column, up high, down low. Then I'll go to maybe like a drop shot, or maybe also something that I can reel, maybe like a little hair jig or something along those lines. And then I'll follow up with like a little Ned head or maybe a shaky head, something like small that I can fish slow, fish on a lighter weight. You know, say for instance right now we're in 24 feet of water, and so we're pretty deep, but I'll be throwing like a 3/16, maybe like a 1/4 ounce, maybe even an 1/8 depending, but something light that I can just slowly drag through. I don't want it to really hop off the cover. I don't want it to bounce really hard. I just want it to kind of drag, almost like what we talked about earlier with that pendulum. I want it to just kind of slowly sort of waddle and kind of roll off that cover and roll down whatever kind of structure that I'm fishing. That could be a big. You ate it like a big boy. That's a big spot is what that is. Come here. Dude, he freaking cranked it, didn't you? That is a 2.5 pound spot, dude. little Nedster, just kind of like picking them off one by one. That is cool. He freaking shot, dude. I mean, when I say he hit that thing, he like bulldozed it, dude. You can tell I'm kind of fishing extremes. Like you saw, I'm moving that swim bait pretty gosh darn quick, as well as that Damiki rig. You know, I'm kind of letting it pendulum down, but the bait's moving pretty quick. It's a 3/8 ounce. But now I got this little Ned head on, and the way I like to kind of follow these guys up is I will, ooh, he's there. He was there. But I will throw almost like, there he is. Oh my God. Well, I would throw too light of a Ned. So we're in like 25 feet of water. I got like a 3/16 ounce Ned, a little 8-pound test with 14-pound braid on this KS2 Elite. And I'll just throw that down there and like slow drag it. Almost like you'd imagine fishing a shaky head or something like that. But it seems like subtlety, either they're gonna bite when it's like super kind of erratic and kind of getting them to react, or subtlety is the name of the game, especially when it comes to soft plastics. Soft plastics in winter, like, even if it's a jig, I kind of consider that a drag rig, but you really want to be slow, methodical, and you want to keep it light, because a lot of times, just like what you saw with that swim bait, these fish bite it kind of when it's falling off of stuff. Here's a better one. I think that might be a spot though. Oh yeah, that's a better one. Gotta keep pressure on these fish. That's a good spot. I'm starting to find 2.5 pound spot. I'm starting to find when you're fishing these Ned or stuff like that, with these spotted bass, if you don't keep pressure on them, they kind of lose, they drop the bait really quick. The sun is going down, and that means one thing. What do you think, Bog? Oh, it means kiss it. We're gonna wrap this thing up. Everybody give a like for Bog. He's such a good fishing partner. But if you're gonna grab 3 rigs and do some of this offshore stuff, it's gonna get better and better as winter goes. You're not gonna find as many fish, I'll warn you on that, but the trick is you're gonna find some bigs. They seem to eat and sort of get fat, especially if you don't have ice over where you're fishing. They're kind of eating and always in a sort of pre-spawn mode. They get in a winter mode, but it almost seems like if you can time it right and you find the right group of fish, they're big, dude, and they're willing to eat, and they're willing to eat like fast stuff too. It's crazy. But if you want to give this a try, here's the 3 rigs I'd recommend. A Damiki rig, it's kind of, they're all kind of related in the sense, a Swimbait, they all kind of do that pendulum action. And those are my 2 main go-tos when I'm talking about like a reaction or a moving style bait. You can get in some blade baits and some tail spins and things along those lines, but you're really looking to make that sort of pendulum down to those fish, sort of just a natural fall. You don't really want to overwork the bait this time of year as that water gets especially cold. You're really looking just for this gradual sort of fall. And once you get it, you'll know it. Go ask Dangling with Dizzy. Go ask Dalton, dude. He understands it. It's just this slow pendulum fall. And then I'll follow up with something a little more subtle. It's probably the only plastic other than a drop shot rig that I'll fish during the winter, and that's the old Nedster. Just a little, depending on depth. This is a 3/16. I'll go down to an 1/8. I'll go up to almost a 1/4. You want to stay light though. You want that bait to just kind of glide over things. You don't really want to bonk on the cover this time of year. You just kind of want it to just gradually caress the cover, we'll call it that. But make sure you hit that subscribe button and that like button. Your grassroots support, just like Monster Bass's grassroots support for this channel, really makes it happen. But we'll see you back out on the water talking fishing, or fishing for some of these guys.